All right, well, it's 7 o'clock. I guess we might as well get started. Thanks very much for coming. It's great to see somebody come out. And welcome. This is our public information for our projects this summer. We haven't been able to do this for 2 years, so it's kind of nice to be able to actually meet people who are going to be working in their houses and disturbing your peace all summer. Hopefully not too bad. We can get started on any section, I guess, because when anybody from Road 92 here tonight? That was an easy one. That's all right, yeah. Go ahead. Paul, you live on Road 92, not the same section, but. So no questions on that one. So 15th line, I know we got a few people from the 15th line. So we can start with that one before we get into the meat of the Eastern River. So I just more or less did brought the letter along that I sent out to you in early May, just to kind of give you an idea what we're going to do step by step. Pretty much, basically, we're just going to pull right this asphalt. We're going to try to go with a little wider platform, try to get a full 8-meter platform out there, just to give a little more room for pedestrians and during the traffic and some cycling activity that we do notice that it goes on out there. So really, it's pretty straightforward and simple. It's going to be a real smooth, beautiful road, and I know we're going to have some speeders and more traffic on there, but we'll deal with those as that shows itself. Just kind of help with that situation, we're going to paint the white edge lines on the road at a narrow 3-meter lane on each side, so it gives a bit of a narrow feel, gives a little more room for pedestrians, a little separation from pedestrians and cyclists, and hopefully that way that'll help slow people down a little bit. But we'll see how that turns out. On 15th line, does anybody have any questions on that section right now, or would you rather wait till the end? Go ahead. Yeah.
So how are you going to widen? Are you going to add something to each side?
No, we did some measuring there. There is quite a wide shoulder platform there already. We do have to do some trimming. There's the grass buildup and some gravel that we're going to trim that before we even pulverize the asphalt. Trim that up, clean that up good. And I think with some measurements we took throughout, we'll be pretty comfortable with the 8-meter platform. There won't be much shoulder beyond that. It'll be pretty much like a paved shoulder road. We did very similar on Road 92 up by Lakeside. If you out and about, take a look at that between the 27th and the 25th line. We did a total rebuild on that road to accept the 8-meter, but we did the same. It's going to be very similar to what you folks are going to have out there. And it was well received, and it's turned out to be really nice road. Anybody else? Any questions on 15 before we move on? And we can always come back. Something pops up. Please don't hesitate. So east of the river, very similar work. Only we're going to pulverize the existing asphalt, regrade it. We're not changing the widths on both the streets. We're going to do a little widening on Sullivan. Currently, Sullivan Street only has about a 5-meter width. Makes it pretty narrow for meeting other vehicles. I know there's not a lot of traffic on that road, but today's standards is a minimum 3-meter width, and I think we could probably accomplish that pretty comfortably up there without doing too much disruption to your front yards and your property in front that you guys maintain very beautifully along there. We are going to add some curb down the hill on Delator Street to help some of the water. There's already existing kind of a molded asphalt curb there now. And it's worked well. It's just not really a aesthetically pleasing application there, but it did its purpose. So we're going to replace that with a concrete curb down there. We're also going to put some curb on at the bottom of Milton on the west side to help the water issues from the Dewey's auto repair there. It catches a lot of water that comes down through there. It causes a lot of issues. So we have to control our water. And that's going to be what we're going to try to do there to help that situation. It's not going to help the 3-inch rains, but I don't think we can do much to help 3-inch rains. The water goes where it wants to go. So yeah, basically it will be a 3-inch lift asphalt, one application of asphalt on that section of the street, except for the 21st line, where we know there's a lot of farming equipment, and heavy trucks that go along there, and it's gonna get the 2 lift of asphalt application similar to what 15th and Road 92 are getting. So it's a heavy base course and a top course, it's low finer for better rideability. So that being said, like, we can jump into questions at any time on anything east of the river or Bates and Young as well. For that matter, it's very similar work. Go ahead.
What are you doing with drainage?
Drainage where? So what section? Like we already talked about the later, we know there's issues there. Like we're putting the curb down. We're not updating the underground structure at all. Underneath. It's working well, it's in good shape. It's handling the water that's up there. There's not a lot of gonna run with those.
So where was it, like, where's supposed to go?
Just where it drains to now. There's no natural ditch there that's gotten filled in over time. But it's just like a real cross section road out there, and that's depends on the ditch and culverts under the driveways to deal with the water.
See,
Yeah.
got a question for you. On Young Crescent, I'm in the last house. The water runs off that pretty good into my lane right now. I had new asphalt put down and they put a little bit of a curve up there.
Okay,
So that they won't disturb that when they're paving like that.
they may, but we'll make sure we put it back.
Okay.
We'll try to mimic what's there. It may move a little bit location wise, but we'll, yeah.
When are you gonna pave? Probably.
When? Well, I'd like to have it done by September 1st.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
We're going away for weeks and I just want to make sure we're done with it.
Right, okay. I can't guarantee, it's so early in the construction season. There's rain delays, we're already experiencing rain delays, so. I mean, I'd love to be able to nail down an exact week when this work is gonna happen, but I just can't do that. We've got 3 different contractors we gotta work with here. Their schedules all change as someone wants to go on, so. By all means, I will let everybody know via letter and on our social media platforms too. When I have something solid, I'll let folks know, especially when it comes to doing the curb, because that's most disruptive for people trying to get in on the properties for a day or 2. So we'll make sure that our visits know as time progresses for schedule.
So that's on Bates, or just off of Bates. Just curious, I only have driveway
Yeah.
on Bates.
Yeah.
For the time when you guys are doing whatever you're doing,
Mhm.
how am I going to get out of my driveway to get to work?
There'll be no access problems at all. It's the pulverizing is just the process where we just grind up the existing asphalt. We'll be there following on behind and grading it, packing it, and watering it. So you'll be able to drive on that, no problem. And then after that, it's going to be just paving over time. So the only delays might be if you're trying to get out right after the asphalt's down and hot, you may have to wait an hour or 2, but it's pretty quick.
And as far as like emergency services, like my children are gonna be at home at daycare. for the
Yeah.
summer,
You'll always have emergency access.
There will be an access.
Doesn't matter if it's a hot asphalt, you got to get emergency vehicles up there. You can get them up there. That's no problem. Yeah.
Is the township doing all the prep work or is it all being hired out?
The township doing all prep work. That's correct. We're going to get pulverizers hired out. The pulverizer company is Rotomills, the one that got. We'll be following, like I say, right behind them, grading it, packing it, watering it, and curb. We hired somebody for the curb, so they do their own prep work for the curb work.
Are we getting curbs on the 15th?
No, no, no. So the thing is with curb, yeah. The thing is with curb, once you put curb in, you're trapping that water on the road.
Yeah.
Right? And now you gotta find a place to put that water. If you don't have the underground infrastructure to put that water, then you best let it go where it naturally goes now.
I've had twice dirty, muddy water come off the field across the road from my house and end up in my pool.
Yeah, oh, yeah. That's
Yeah.
not fun. Yeah,
So a curb would be nice,
yeah, yeah, yes, it would. Yes, it would.
maybe.
Yeah.
I didn't think of catch basin.
Anybody else?
Are you going to replace all the, like the drainage ditch across the road 3 times there under Sharpness?
Yeah.
Are you gonna replace all those?
The underground culverts, the
Yes.
cross culverts, yeah, Derek, how many, we're getting 2 there for sure.
There's two that I'm aware of. The other ones are box culvert.
Big box culvert there, it's in good shape. The other
Yeah,
two
that's
are-
what I
yeah.
thought one of them was a cement.
Yeah,
They're
it's,
calling it a
it's
box
fine.
culvert.
Yeah, it gets inspected every 2 years with biannual bridge inspection, and it doesn't show any issues at all. The other 2 we are gonna replace. They're showing their age.
Probably the 4th week, last week of this month
Yeah,
is the tentative date that we're gonna be doing.
yeah, we hope so. Like I say, scheduling's not gonna be a real pinpoint right now. But, and during that time with the road closings, there'll be daily closures. So it'll be probably one day, we're gonna try to do them both in one day.
The box culvert or whatever, is it wide enough to actually take this new wider?
Yeah, it is. It's like, we're not gonna really be extending past the existing shoulder of the road now. We're gonna stay within that. They say we're gonna try to push for the meters. We may not quite get there, but we're gonna get as close as we can.
The residents on Baker Street from Sullivan up to 21st line.
Yeah.
All have mailboxes along the north side. Will they be affected?
No, they won't. And if they do, we'll put temporary on there and then replace it once we're done. They're up there. Yeah. We have a whole bunch of temporary ones.
We have first for that driveway.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
can't find
So whatever we disturb, if we have to cut the brick back a bit to make the new width, we will make it fit. It's in the contract, the asphalt, new asphalt's got to fit to the driveways, so there's no increase in slope or anything. So we'll make sure that everything's.
So you mentioned you had some ideas that the roof itself will not be raised up or lower. It's gonna stay the same.
They'll be a little higher in road, not in your area though, because we already know it's high in that area now. We'll have water issues. We're gonna try to extend that and flatten that a little bit. Naturally, on a pulverized and paved job, you do end up with a high profile road. It'll be more pronounced on the 15th. It'll be a little 4 to 6 inches higher by the time we're all done. The streets where we're putting the one lift on, you'll probably see it to a 2 to 3 inch difference in height.
Will you pave to the end of that street?
We're gonna go as far as we can. We're gonna try to get up there just to try to help the water issue that's already up
You
there.
think,
Not at the end of it.
I think by paving it, it's gonna stop the water from coming down.
A combination of paving and proper grading, I think we can reduce some of it. Yeah. Grading is gonna be the use case, it's gonna be tricky up there. That's the problem with trying to fit, existing old streets like this, trying to get them fit in the district. It's always a challenge, but we'll work at it. Anybody else have any questions or? Yes.
How far north will you be going on the 21st?
The existing end of it now. We don't plan to pave any much further than what, we're just pretty much repaving what's already existing pavement now.
Okay. Yeah. And then at the edge of the paving, as I heard, it'll be matching where the driveways are paved or finished. The asphalt will just come up and match.
That's correct, yeah. If it's a steep slope and it's gotta be cut back a little further, they'll cut it back and match that new asphalt to it, so there's a nice incline in your driveway approach.
you affected out where we our cars when you name.
For 99.9% of the project, you'll have access to your driveways. Like up there, I don't even think you'll have much disruption at all. If there is an issue and we know you're gonna be blocked, we'll come knock on your door. If you need to get out, you can park on the street and make sure you get out. Just, we're all local people working on your roads. That's one nice thing about it. We're not the outside construction companies that, if you have a concern, talk to one of our guys, our foreman, both foremen are here. They're gonna be working on the project. Scott Simmons in the back corner over there. Sorry, I didn't introduce myself at the start. I should have did that. Steve Oliver. And Derek Collins, he's gonna be on the project too all summer, so or contact myself, so don't ever hesitate to ask us anything.
There's some easement between Marcus and Fisher's house.
Okay, whereabouts we talking here? She put this back.
On the Bates Lane. And I just wondered, are we responsible to let the company know, or you guys are gonna call them?
For the easement, whereabouts are you, in Bates Lane?
Yeah, at the very end. So, right in the cul-de-sac, there's an
Yep.
easement right on that tree line there, virtually.
Right through here, is there?
Yeah, it goes down
Okay.
to the Thames River, across under the road.
Okay, yeah, and what's your,
along the
cons-
field.
okay, what's your concern about it?
My concern is with your pulverizing and everything that's there, I'm not sure how close it is to the easement,
Yeah.
but you guys will call that company.
We will just stay on our property there. We won't go past it.
Okay,
We'll stay on what we have.
I just didn't know. if
Yeah,
there was-
you can see we're pretty much to our limits here now, right? We'll just try to mimic that. We'll mark that and measure our
I would say
offsets.
it's probably like right where that yellow line.
Yeah,
Am I wrong, Dan and Sharon? I don't know where, how it falls.
It goes down slightly to the north. There's the gas line easement.
oh, okay, that's what it is. Okay, gotcha,
The gas line.
gotcha, okay.
Because it's just, it goes on an angle just north of that yellow line.
Right, so the gas line runs up here.
No, it goes straight across.
Okay,
Then it
Across that way.
cuts to the north.
Oh,
At
okay,
the end of the boulevard there,
right,
cuts right in. Okay.
okay, all right. We'll find all those when we get our okays.
Try not to hit it.
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Try not, yeah. Good idea, try not.
Yeah, no,
For sure. Does anybody else have any questions or want to look at anything on your street? Great. Like I said, during construction, I'll try to keep everybody updated, once I get solid dates when each of the contractors are coming in. Pulverizing, I don't know, that's gonna be just a pull in and go, so you'll tell them we're there. It's gonna be nice. But, they're really quick. They'll be probably, east of the river would be a day. 15th line, probably 2 days, and then Road 92 again, another day and a half to 2 days there. Pulverizing, so. That'll probably be the most disruptive time for people. for Construction. Everything else is fairly quiet-ish, fair bit of work on your street. It'll be better when it's done. Yes.
You're replacing those municipal drainage culvert centers, is there gonna be any expense to the watershed to the north, or is the road just covered as a road expense?
It's all covered under this road expenses,
So there's
so,
no expense to the watershed?
no. No. No, it was all budgeted in during, for this project. Somebody else have a question? Let's see. No.
Can I ask my question about the community mailboxes on
I knew
Bates?
you would.
So,
Let's get that up on the screen here. We're
So
close by anyway.
I'm still in discussions with Canada Post about a variety of our community mailboxes, and I do.
Yeah.
Maybe some silly optimism. I think that at some point we may get a little bit better safety and function in some of the locations that they play. So it is quite the steep slope, and it is quite the narrow road, and it is a Canada Post chosen location,
Yes,
and it is a municipal roads project. So,
yeah, and it looks like hell,
pardon?
and it looks like hell.
It
right now.
not only looks like hell, but I drive there every once in a while and get out of my vehicle when it's not snowy and icy.
Yeah.
And I consider myself quite able-bodied, and it is incredibly steep.
Right,
And I know that there've been concerns with, not having enough space to turn around, so people are using the private laneway as well as going, having to come all the way up. As well as it's so close to the road that where you pull over, if you're pulling over on this side of the mailbox as cars are exiting the highway, there's a bit of a bottleneck in there. So would it be possible to, not for the entire length of Bates, but a widening, perhaps just, how far is our road allowance?
Well,
Could we widen a smidge?
we
close
have-
the box, there's more of a space to pull over.
there's our road allowance there. We have lots of road allowance there.
Okay,
What we don't have a lot of is money.
yeah. He's saying that because I vote on the budget, right?
But I mean, mean, we have room to do something here. The biggest issue is it's gonna be hard to get rid of the steepness of it, right? No matter what we put there, it's gonna be at the same grade unless we did a huge elevation, and I don't know how we'd make that fit there and be able to maintain it in winter time and everything else. We could make like a 2 or 3 wide vehicle area, just like a turnaround and asphalt it, or just even gravel. I think we left the gravel and end up water washing it away, but,
The snow plow even hit that mailbox. this
yes,
winter.
we were aware of that one, weren't we, Derek?
Pulled up. So I mean, when the snow plow is hitting it because of the snowbanks that are around,
Yes.
you can't even see it.
No,
in
no,
the
it's not an ideal place
You
for
gotta
it.
get a run up if you're coming up from downtown and somebody's parked there.
Yeah.
Like to get my vans up there, like like you said, it's steep.
It is.
You gotta like kind of hammer down to get them
Yeah.
if somebody's there.
Yeah.
Like I usually drive, if somebody's there, I usually end up driving past,
Mhm.
because it could get sketchy.
Oh, yeah, for
There's
sure.
also a culvert underneath that, my husband called in, there was a water main breakage.
Down here at the bottom.
Yeah, down a little bit further.
Yeah.
I'm trying to, I don't remember what month it was, but my husband was down there, it was in the fall, maybe it's early winter. But it trickled down into this, creating it to be extra icy
Mhm.
for that whole week.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just bubbling under the ground.
Yeah.
So I mean.
So this is the issue with these, like road, 19 highways, Oxford County owned. So we have to work with them, like by rights, we're only, allowed to pave to about here. Because that's where the road allowance, that's where our road allowance ends and Oxford County starts, right? So I still have to have a meeting with Oxford County, that's happening this Thursday, so we'll find out exactly what's happening there. I couldn't get anybody out any sooner than that, but we're gonna try to do actually better improvements there. We want to do better improvements, but as far as that covered, if Oxford County will decide they want that in place before we put a new asphalt over it, then they better get their butts in here. So this is why I'm trying to get them engaged sooner than later, but this is just some of the challenges we have to deal with, but we'll get through it. So back to the mailbox. We could look at something, like I say, everything we do is gonna be money, but we'll have to look at what we can do there to help that, make at least maybe a turnaround there so people don't have to extend all the way up. But like I said, it's pretty tough to remove that steepness there that's already there. It's just a natural lay of the land. It's always gonna be a bit of an issue.
Yeah, for people to stop in the winter time, not like they'd have to kind of back out on this highway, like they're not,
Yeah.
if they're stopping, they're not making it up that hill unless it's nice and clean.
No, exactly. So I mean, if we put, say, like a 2 or 3 car wide, where somewhere that you pull in or pull past it back in, get your mail and then pull out, that might be, that's a simple solution, most inexpensive solution I can come up off the top of my head right now. But
Just put it on.
could do that too. It's a long way around to get your mail. I don't know what the.
This is an option.
And posters like that.
I don't know, like on the opposite side of the highway, for example, I don't know if. it's
Oh, for the
not
mailboxes?
To avoid it.
Oh.
That's a Canada Post thing. We went through that, didn't we, Katie? Yeah.
I got a question.
Yes.
If you decide to do some of those mailboxes, could we take the bricks that are in the box and put them up the one at the highway? Where the one hole is?
Yeah. Those are Canada Post bricks. Or Lancaster, you can do whatever you want with them.
We don't have bricks.
There's a stack in between them, you can take 2 at a time.
That's great.
Where's your mailboxes?
Up the highway.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Around the bend.
you're further up on
It's a
that.
one hole.
Yeah, yes,
What about that right there? There's a bit of a right there.
right here.
And you were talking road allowance for the
Let's-
highway.
Let's see
When
what
you
you
come
got
around
here.
on Bloom Crescent, the snowplows always
Oh, yeah.
get in the lawn big time. There's just a bit of a dip there. Coming down from the north, and they turn. up.
Right in here then?
Yeah, right
Yes.
there. When
On
they
the
turn
north
up,
side.
turn up, they dig up pretty good. There's a bit of water. Right off to the, right.
See where
On the right
waters-
side of the
waters-
Right here?
No, the
No,
other side.
the other
side.
See where the
Yeah,
water's
see where the
laying?
hole is?
Okay, we'll deal with that. Oh,
We need to put something there for the snowfall guys, cutting that short.
Yeah.
And turning up the dirt, so to speak.
A bit of a sharp turn when they come down. from up north.
yeah, it is. Yeah, I can see there's quite a little buildup of dirt and everything there.
There's always water.
So we can deal with that, that's fine. I'm pretty sure the county will let us do any improvements, we want on their roads. As long as we're paying for it. but- Anybody else have any questions? And if something pops in your heads after this meeting, please don't hesitate to contact me. I didn't bring any cards, but if you, my contacts on this letter. During the construction, again, I like, if the guy, please reach out to my foreman if you have any questions, concerns, something pops up, don't hesitate, right? We're all, local guys, we want to see everybody happy, we want to do what we can to help out and give you a beautiful end product, so. That's all I got.
So is Weber gonna be done before this starts?
What's that, sorry?
Weber?
Who knows? I really don't know. If they are, they are. If they aren't, they aren't. I'd rather be in there another before they put fiber in the ground, because it's one less thing to worry about digging around. If perfect world, they move in right after us, or before we even do any restoration work, and we can kind of fix everything up at once and be done. But I don't know where Weber's are at. Their schedules are changing just like everybody else's. So they've had one heck of a time in Tempsford, moved really slow. Gravel stuff, so.
Do you know if Weber's coming to this part of town?
I don't know. I have to check on that. If you want to leave your name and number with, I got your name, make sure I get contact. I can check on that. Let
They
you know.
also have a pretty detailed map on Quadro's website.
Oh, do
You go
they
to
were
Quadro, you go to Quadro, it shows pretty detailed exactly where they are and
Yeah.
are servicing. And you can contact Quadro directly and they should answer the question for you.
Okay.
It's technically their project, not a.
Yeah, no, I understand, I just didn't know.
I have a mapping though. They have to get approval from us. So I do have a mapping on this, so I can check it out for sure.
Okay.
I'll let you know. Speaking number.
Okay.
Okay. I guess if there's nothing else, you folks, thanks very much for coming. Like, it's great seeing so many out. Like, I was concerned 5 chairs was gonna be too many, so this is really good. Excellent. Nice to see people, a lot of work putting these meetings on and planning this work for the summer. It's nice to see lots of turnout and lots of interest. Okay. Thanks very much.